All right, so we're going to start this one off. Our top 5, right? You're starting a wrestling company in the year 1995. Mm-hmm. Who are your top 5 wrestlers that you're taking to start your new company? And it cannot be wrestlers from now. It has to be wrestlers from 1995 and above.
So they were basically wrestling in 1995, so Correct. You could draft them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to take this one off?
Are we doing one by one?
I think we just do lists.
Yeah,
I'll go
I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm very ready for this.
Okay, let's
start
hear it.
my own promotion in the Clinton presidency.
Mm.
Okay. Number 1 draft choice, obviously, without a doubt, is Shawn Michaels. HBK.
Again, every episode we're going to talk about how good Shawn Michaels is.
He's great.
And how's in everyone's list.
He's also really good at booking wrestling.
Here's the goal. The goal is we're going to talk about Shawn Michaels on every podcast, wrestling podcast, to finally have one day Shawn Michaels on this podcast.
I don't think that's a lofty expectation.
Yeah,
that's
we can do that.
Realistic.
Okay. Number 1, Shawn Michaels, you're drafting.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels is number 1. Number 2, in 1995, I think Scott Hall is a guy that you absolutely need. You need him in your promotion.
You're just going to draft a click, are you?
Well, I mean, Kevin Nash is in here as well. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Diesel was a powerhouse in 95. He was great. I love that Diesel Brett match. You know,
so did I. Big fan.
Yeah. I mean, Diesel was great. So, Foley as well. We've established we love Mick Foley here, and I think in 1995 he's in ECW at that point, right before he goes to the WWF, and that his ECW run is great. And then number 5, Sting. I think Sting. Sting. Unfortunately, Sting spent most of his career outside of the WWE, and I'm not a WWE only kind of guy. I appreciate other promotions and everything, but I think had Sting been there in the 90s, he would have had a better career overall. That's what I think. I love the whole Crow Sting run in WCW, and I think that was great up until Starrcade '97. But I think had he jumped ship to WWF after that, the rest of his career he'd be much better remembered. So that's who I start my promotion with in '95. Those are my 5 guys, and I had a lot of guys on the cusp who just missed the cut.
Who would the championship belt go to carry the
number
company?
1?
Number 1?
You're saying
like within that group, like who would you give the belt to?
Oh, you start with Nash for sure. Killer, big heel, yeah. In '95, totally. Okay. And then you've got Hall is like your tweener guy who can go back and forth. Foley and Nash are your big heels, both like 2 different kind of characters. That you got the big powerhouse killer in Nash, and then you got the psychological guy in Foley as the heel. You could be Cactus Jack or Mankind, and then you got Sting and HBK as your top 2 baby faces. I think that's in '95.
I think that's a good promotion.
That's money, baby.
That's a good promotion.
What you got?
1995. You know who our draft number 1?
Don't say it.
Erick, say it. Say it.
Just call this the Shawn Michaels podcast.
It's the Shawn Michaels podcast. Shawn Michaels, Mr. HBK himself. And then I would go and get Eddie Guerrero.
In '95.
In
that's ambitious.
That's high-flying Eddie Guerrero.
Get him young.
Not super bulky.
Yeah.
That
was before the steroids. When he was
way
skinny.
before
He was skinny with the mullet. He looked like Dom looks now.
He didn't take steroids. He just basically hit the gym.
You don't think Eddie took steroids?
Listen, that's a lot of beans and tortillas the man ate. So he got big, My next guy would be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
I would bring
Austin. It would be stunning Steve Austin.
It would be stunning Steve Austin.
Soon to be the ringmaster. Boring gimmick.
And I would bring in what I felt like was a weird gimmick at that time, The Undertaker. That would be my big powerhouse.
What was Undertaker doing in '95?
He was The Undertaker.
I know, but who did he
Was that the Yokuzuna
WrestleMania?
Who did he wrestle? King Kong Bundy?
That was
95? That was Yokuzuna.
No.
Yokuzuna was Survivor.
Who the hell did
He may have missed
that?
that
Was
year.
WrestleMania 11.
He may have missed that. No, he may have missed that year. I don't know.
Taker?
He missed a
Because
WrestleMania.
94 was when he did the Taker versus Taker at SummerSlam with him and Crush, where he wrestled himself. What the hell?
It's either King Kong Bundy or he missed it.
What did Taker do in 95? I feel like he was out.
Because when did he have the Yokozuna match where he got killed? Remember when they said he died?
That was
It was
94.
94. He missed 94
Okay.
due to a legitimate injury, and 2000.
Yeah, I remember that he wasn't there. But then he came back as Biker Taker after WrestleMania
Biker
2000.
Taker.
Yeah.
Wow. And then I would go and I would I considered this as a one kind of thing. I would bring a tag team in, and I would bring in Harlem Heat.
Oh, okay.
You know? So, and then with Harlem Heat, then, Stevie Ray goes off, and then now I have Booker T with the company.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you train them, you prime them. So,
All right.
and then with that one, I would start the belt off with Shawn Michaels, and I would end that year with Eddie Guerrero climbing the ladder.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be very wild.
Yeah.
Very wild of a company.
My company, this is for me. I'm not doing this to impress anyone. This is just for what I want to see.
Wait, this is what we wanted to see in our company.
It just sounds like you're trying to make money and you're trying to make smart
I'm
decisions.
trying to run a business.
Yeah, you're trying to run a business. He's clearly trying to run a business. I'm not.
I'm trying to capitalize on the .com boom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I'm just trying to watch what I want to watch. First wrestler drafted is New Jack. I want to see New Jack telling white people he's happy O.J. Simpson killed one of them. I want that heel heat, unbelievable heel heat all over the place. And I want people tuning in because they can't believe it. And then number 2, for some reason, I don't know why, big British Bulldog mark when I was in 1995. I was all about the... He turned heel, but he had the dreadlocks, and then he turned heel on Diesel, I think. Yeah, that was a bad heel turn for me as a kid. That was rough.
I love Bulldog too. I never loved the tassels. I don't like the tassels.
The tassels were a thing, my
I
friend.
liked it because it matched the
I
dreads.
just don't like it. I just never. It's not my thing. But actually, I kind of love. I kind of love Bulldog's look in, 2000, when he was just wearing the jeans and the boots.
It looked like he just gave up.
I was kind of cool though.
Wait,
dude.
did he have his dog then?
No,
he never
he
did
didn't
the
have
dog since.
No, but he feuded with The Rock, and he just looked like a day laborer who wandered into the ring. Like,
Cutting lumber.
yeah, dude, that was fucking great.
Number 3, another one of my favorites of all time, Great Muta. Definitely get the Great Muta with the face paint and the mist and all that good stuff. Just a big fan of guys that bring that Undertaker style aura, that kind of like push the boundaries of creativity in pro wrestling. And then I think this is 5 or 4?
5.
5, okay.
You can bring a tag team in.
No, I'm gonna get to a tag team. All right. But Yokozuna. Yokozuna is someone I didn't appreciate until like last year. Until I started rewatching some
Until
older
we
stuff.
found out he was Samoan, part of the
Well, I knew he was
bloodline.
Samoan. I think I knew.
Whoa.
I knew there was something was up when he was clearly not Asian. Like,
His name is Yokozuna.
but like Yokozuna today. Imagine if Yokozuna, the same man, the same athlete, showed up in NXT right now. The type of matches he could have.
Oh my God.
You know, with these guys that can like bump for him and stuff like that, and he can keep up. You know, that prime Yokozuna, like. I'm a big fan of wrestlers that you just don't see copies of because you can't make a copy of Yokuzuna.
Yeah, that's a physical copy. You can
Right, exactly. And then number 5, the Steiner Brothers. Very easy. Yeah. Let's just like drop people on their heads and flex and wear colorful outfits. Like let's go.
Bark.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, if we were gonna have a world champion, I'm gonna get weird. I'm going to make Scott Steiner win the world title. But
I don't think that's weird.
okay, but like I'm not talking about the Scott Steiner with the blonde hair. I'm talking about Steiner Brothers Scott Steiner with the
mullet. Okay, that is
mullet.
weird.
With the mullet. And he's going to win it. And
But there is a world where those guys you know, are booked as like singles acts in that time, and they get over as like, these fucking killer, you know, amateur wrestler guys. Like, absolutely, that
right? You could see it, right?
It could have worked. The blonde hair though, and the, you know, the medieval cap and the whole shit, and when he stopped wearing the colorful shit, like. There's maybe no cooler wrestler of all time than Scott Steiner in
Would you have had Scott Steiner cut the promo in '95? You got 33rd?
No. I'm assuming I'm taking these guys in '95.
Yeah,
I'm taking these guys in '95. So
Scott Steiner, raw Scott Steiner,
and the feud of the year is Scott Steiner Yokuzuna, just going back and forth, just like. You know, Scott Steiner selling the buns on drop.
Scott Steiner New Jack promo battle would be.
That's how we end the year.
Actually, you know, I don't know why, but when you mentioned New Jack, I just thought I was like, who's like the, you know, like most diametrically like opposite of New Jack, and I was like, New Jack versus Bob Backlund would be fucking great.
Wow. Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would
like,
be.
That would actually be.
That's a one and done. I feel like
that
can't be a
in the ECW arena.
Oh.
That would be fucking killer.
Yeah.